My name is Nancy Perrier. I live in Houston, Texas, and I'm a proud Phi Gamma Chi Omega. My impressions of convention, Whitney, are that it's like coming home again. I walked in yesterday and within minutes recognized an energy and recognized a feeling of higher purpose. The organization, the meticulous attention to detail, the seamless ease that the entire runnings of the clinic of the convention seem to have, just remind me about Chi Omega, that everything is always done the right way. We're a group of folks that that rarely settle for the average. And this meeting immediately reminded me of the perfection of Chi Omega. And just the emotions of I have not been to a convention since I was a collegiate. And within minutes, I was reminded of that feeling of home. And it felt like being a child and going back home and recognizing that I was in a place where I belonged. Last night's dinner was a humbling event. I recognized that any woman in that room could have stood at that podium and told me about their lives and their inspiration. And it reminded me that I was asked to come and share inspiration to the younger gals, and it reminded me that I'm inspired by Chi Omega always. I'm never around a group of Chi Omegas that I don't feel inspired, because whether it is volunteering, there's always a profound amount of caring and giving that comes from Chi Omegas. And I can say that last night I was just humbled. Whitney, I have many Chi Omegas that inspire me, my sisters and my mentors that have served as family for me since my early collegiate days. I can tell you that Jolie Berry and Mag Wall and mothers in Chi Omega during those formative years are women that that are true, hold a sincere place in my heart. And my Chi Omega sisters that have been by my side for all these years, my roommates, my pledge sisters, particularly the core of women that were here last night, always inspire me. Because they give in ways that are above and beyond. Chi Omega's influence in my life began the minute I walked onto the Chi Omega lawn at Phi Gamma, and the words and the meaning of what the fraternity represents means more to me now than it did then when I joined. And that's to say a lot, because I loved it then, but I love it in a different way and a richer way now. The initial influence of Chi Omega was that it gave me a place to call home. It gave me a structure on a big college campus. It gave me a purpose and a meaning to be around people who were like me, people who shared the same principles and were inspired by the same guiding words of a higher purpose, and things like being womanly always and discouraged never. And I loved those words then, but I love them even more now at this phase of my life, because the meaning is richer, and it is important to me in ways that I didn't recognize then. But I expect that even as in the upcoming years, I have an 11-year-old daughter, and as motherhood approaches, and the words that I try to resonate in my own household with my own daughter, I'm sure that the meaning will continue in all phases of my life. My advice for living a life of achievement is never underestimate yourself. There are days when I look at my own calendar and I think, how am I going to get through this week of multitasking, of all the things on the calendar, and I get through them. I don't just the process of moving forward and checking it off, and then looking back, and it was accomplished and it was done. And I think that too many times we We underestimate what we're capable of. Many of the venues and the great fulfillment that I have in life, I would never have expected or put myself in this position or expected these opportunities to occur. My advice to the young collegiates and the dynamic women that I met last night is do not limit yourself. Set your expectations high and don't underestimate what you can accomplish. Taking a challenge and pushing yourself just a little bit further than you think you can go will open doors that, in my experience, that's how I continue to be fulfilled and remain intellectually curious, and that's where I breed my own inner happiness, and I hope that others can feel that energy. I am inspired to give back to Chi Omega because Chi Omega did so much for me. It is a privilege to be a Chi Omega, and with privilege comes responsibility. And there were folks, and have been folks throughout my life, that Chi Omegas that have given to me. They have given time, they've given energy, and I feel the responsibility. We give back differently, and to be able to mentor or to be able to guide or to be able to help someone along the way and give that pat of encouragement, that's the fun of Chi Omega, and that's what I enjoy most about it.